Close to a year.
That was the 29th.
Gilda.
Okay, we're here. We're here in Olkush. Backwards. I have it backwards.
Where do I push on to?
No, it's on. You should have her on the phone. She's on. Yeah, she's
okay,
in New York.
fine. Right here.
Okay.
So I'm standing in close.
Okay. Eli, this is the home of Elimelech and Leah Tatarka. In this home, they raised 7 children, and in this home, they were taken to the camps from here. They were taken to. He was taken to Elimelech was taken to Blechheimer, and his oldest son Alter, who is Gilda's father, was taken to Blechheimer. Elimelech died there, the father. In addition, others who were taken to Auschwitz were Zisel and Tzvi, Esther, and Rachel, and who all perished in the Shoah. There were 3 children who survived: Alter Yosef, Brindel, and Razel, who is Rushka is Razel, Brunya was Brindel, and Alter Yosef is Albert. And
my Aunt Brunya, this is the end of her.
Okay. Last Sunday, as we were going to the airport, we got news that Brunya, the last of the children of this family, passed away in Tel Aviv.
She lived in Tel Aviv, and I wanted to be there for her funeral, but.
So what I saw in the Haftorah yesterday was the phrase "Ud Mutzal Me'esh." The firebrand plucked out of the fire. Those who survived were these firebrands plucked from the fire. And even though Rabbi Adler says this refers to only when one survives from a family, in Borough Park, when we ordered them in Seva for her father, the guy there said, no, we put it on every Holocaust survivor. When they pass away, we put it on there in Seva. But I thought it was really appropriate that as we're here at the end of the Shiva for Brunya, that we say Kel Mole Rachamim, because they're getting up from Shiva now in Tel Aviv. So this is like at this moment they went back to the cemetery at the end of Shiva. Il Mole Rachamim, Shochem Bamromim, Amitzei Menucha Nachon Al Kanfei Hashchina. B'malot Kedoshim Utarim Kazara Harakia Mazhirim Et Nishmat Brindel Batreb Elimelech Shahol Chalo Lamo V'gan Eden Heimenuchat Kolachem Balarachamim Yasireu Etzer Kenafadli Olamim V'Yitzor B'Tzorachim Es Nishmato Adonai Hu Nachalato V'Tanua B'Shalom Amishkavah V'Nomar Amen. I wanted to tell you two stories. One that deals with Gilda's father, Alter Yosef, who grew up in this house. In January 1945, he was one of those who went on the march, and the death march. And miraculously, he survived so many things, but he survived that as well. It was just truly, truly amazing. He told the story that, they didn't have shoes. They wrapped their feet in cloths, whatever they could find to protect themselves. And he got frostbite in one foot. And there were so many people dying along the way, the Poles didn't want to be cleaning up bodies every day. So it happened to be he survived long enough that when he finally collapsed, they threw him on a truck. And the truck was traveling, picking up bodies and throwing it on. He was still alive. And in the morning, when he got up and you could see he was talking to people. Nobody was answering him. He was the only person alive in that truck.
Oh, wow.
They took him back to Dachau, and somehow there is a, as we saw in Auschwitz, there is a sort of a pseudo infirmary where they put him. They didn't kill him, which was again another miracle. The frostbite caused the toes of one foot to drop off from the frostbite. They just shriveled and dropped off, but he survived. And when he was liberated by the American Army, the end of April 1945, so many people, as you pointed out, died from eating too much. He said in 30 days he gained 30 pounds. That was one story. The other story deals with Gilda's mother. And in both of these stories, I call them bookends. You know, just like Branya was the Haftorah last week and this week, you know, in Eretz Israel and here, it's the same Haftorah, and it was like bookends to her Shiva. In the case of Gilda's mother, it's also bookends. In Gilda's mother's family, there were 4 children at the beginning of World War II. There was her mother Dora, her older sister Bashka, and 2 younger sisters, Gusta and Chana, Gittel and Chana. Gittel and Chana perished in the Shoah. But Dora and Bashka were both in Birkenau, so it was very significant. As we walked in Birkenau, they were there for a number of years. The story, these 2 women were very close, and over the years, the aerograms, remember the aerograms, they would go back and forth, and in the classic European writing to each other. And in 1967, Dora took Gilda to Eretz Israel. The 2 sisters had not seen each other since 1946. So this was a major family reunion.
Right after the Six-Day War.
Right after the Six-Day War.
Bought the tickets, we were going, and then the war started, we're not going. A week later, we're going. A big miracle.
So we flash forward now.
Huh?
Yes.
29.
This is her father's house. In 1988, 2 weeks after.
1 second.
Okay.
So my Aunt Bashka had one son, Zohar. So we would be arguing. I said this war was such a miracle, and he was going, no, we just have a better army, and you know, we had this big argument about a miracle.
Okay, so we flash forward to 1988. 1988, it's the first year, and these are bookends, the story is bookends, that Dora passes away 2 weeks after Zach's bar mitzvah. And Zach's father's bar mitzvah then, in 1988. Even before we could call Bashka and to tell her that Dora had passed away, she called us. And she said that Dora passed away. And we said, how do you know? She said, the room was crying. The lights were going off and on in her fridge. The lights were going off and on in the street. She said Dora came to say goodbye. She was here. And she felt it, and she felt it, and she called, and she knew even before we called her. Flash forward 10 years, 1998. I'm bringing a shul group to Israel. My son Josh is in the army in Israel. He's now on leave, and he's with us for a few days. And we're traveling to Eilat, coming from the north, and we stop in Caesarea.
Which we were not supposed to be.
We weren't supposed to be there.
And my cousin Zohar, who had the argument about a miracle, many years before, lives in Caesarea.
Okay, so Josh is sleeping on the back of the bus. His cell phone goes off. Zohar calls and to tell us that
his mother,
Bashka rather, had passed away, and he wanted to tell Gilda
and my sister
and her sister. So Josh says, "Well, she's not in America. She's actually in Israel." He assumes that means she's in Yerushalayim. Josh says, "No, she's not in Yerushalayim." We were literally 5 minutes from his house at that moment. So Josh then says, "But I had a dream." He woke me up in the middle of a dream. And what was the dream? He was dreaming of 2 women. One was lying on a bed, one was sitting on a chair. So 2 sisters who were very, very close to each other. So we dropped Gilda and Josh off for the Levaya. I took the shul group on. And when at the Levaya, she meets people, older women, who knew her namesake, Gusta, Gittel, the 3rd sister, one of the sisters who passed away from typhus in March of 1945. They met. And Zohar, her cousin, who argued that the Six-Day War was this miracle,
It's not a miracle.
was not a miracle, now says this, being in Caesarea, that is the miracle. So it's two bookends, but clearly there's the hand of Hashem in all of this. And I really want to thank all of you for coming here, to be here in Olkush, so we could connect this. Exactly.
Yes,
We're gonna,
yes.
we're gonna light a candle here.
Hi, Lee.
Say hi.
Hi.
And then we have no idea what I'm doing.
Right? Right by the door. Why are you putting it by the door?
Yeah. Put it. Okay.
It's too windy. It's too windy.
Israel. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpoar v'yitramam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudisha b'richu leila min kol berchata v'shirata tishvachata v'nechamata damiram v'yalma v'yimru amen yehei shalom rabbi min shemai v'chaim tov malenu v'alkor Yisrael v'mru amen seh shalom v'mramav v'yaseh shalom aleinu v'alkor Yisrael v'mru amen. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
I think you better put it here. It didn't last. It didn't last.